Hello and welcome. My guest today that I get to interview is Joellyn Andrews. And she has been kind enough. We've been able to talk quite a bit in getting to know each other, and I've really learned a lot about her teaching style. She has a lot to offer, especially if you're a teacher that is classically trained and teaches, note reading and theory. She's got a great little niche that can help us out a lot. So I'm really excited to learn all about what she's doing. Joellyn, welcome and thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you, Connie.
So let's just dig right in. The first question I have is, how long have you been teaching groups like this?
Not too long. I started maybe 2020, basically, online.
Okay, so that was kind of COVID era.
Yeah, and the reason why really is like I'm a pop teacher, so I have a lot of content that can be taught to beginners and advanced students. So the online group format is basically the best way to teach everyone together. So it came together at the right time to put it together.
That's very cool. So, what is it that made you start teaching the groups? Was it just, well, I mean, how did you get the idea?
I think it was mostly the content driven. Like we all had to shift to online, but it was again the having that content that could have an audience that it does better in a audience that has this mixed group there. So it basically that's really why.
Oh, that's cool. So it just kind of unfolded itself. Like
Yeah.
it was just the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you teach group exclusively?
I also have private lessons. I teach them out of my home. So yeah, between the group classes online and then I run downstairs to my downstairs studio and teach at home.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. So for your students, do they choose either the private or the group, or do they do both?
It's one or the other, and I think as I get students, they might not even know about the private lessons or they might not know about the online offering because I advertise in different places. So it's
Oh,
like local
wow.
kids take them online, take them in person, and then the other kids find Piano Hub by other ways.
Okay. Okay. All right. So about the group lessons, the online group lessons, kind of some questions about the logistics of that. How long are these classes that you teach?
They're all half an hour. I try to have like one focus for that half an hour and take our time developing it.
Okay. And before we get all into how it works, if someone wanted to, if just wanted to copy your idea and do what you're doing, what kind of setup is required to do that?
I think it's like for online lessons, you kind of have to get equipment for it. The priority, I think, is sound quality, especially getting your instrument played through. So, like, whether it's like a MIDI port or have an audio mixer to plug that instrument into your computer, or sometimes I guess even a phone, depending on what you're think. So I think sound quality would be the priority, and then after that, it would be like a camera view of your hands. It's like just being a good model can solve a lot of the problems of technique with your students. Just they need to see your hands real good and that can help you overcome the issues that they have themselves, like how well you see what's going on with them.
Right.
And then I think the third one's like the platform. It's you got to find one that you like. So it's like they all kind of do the same thing, whether you're on Zoom or whatever, Facebook Messenger or anything like that. They all kind of do the same thing, but there's one out there for you. So it's kind of like buying a pair of shoes. It's like which ones are for you. It's like you just got to shop around till you find like the right one.
Yeah. And some of them do have like, they're basically the same, but they have a few little different features, and probably asking in, like, if you're part of a piano teacher group, in social media, if you're asking what people are using, that you might get some good feedback there.
Yeah, you'll get like all kinds of
But I know it's not hard if I just like flip this around. See, I have a little camera that right here, just like,
Yeah, yeah, it's like I got one right up here. It's not hard. It felt overwhelming to me. Like I have to learn all this tech, but it's like no, once you start getting it, watching a couple of videos, it's not that hard once you get it in place.
right. Or expensive. I really thought it would be a lot more expensive, but it's not. I
No, it can be expensive if you want it to be.
That's true. That is true.
But no, it can be entry level. It can be entry level if you just build on it gradually.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and a lot of us teachers had to already probably have the webcams and some external mics and stuff because we were kind of forced into that for a while.
Yeah.
All right, anyway. So now, as far as your classes and how they work, how do you schedule those?
So I wanted it to feel more like a piano club than like an online studio. So Piano Hub is a Discord server, and I have scheduled live events, and subscribers can show up to as many classes as they want. So I teach two types of classes, 3 days a week in it, and they're scheduled between my private lessons. So I'll just run up here, teach a class, run downstairs, have my student.
Wow, okay, so you two, so does that mean you're teaching 6 classes a week?
Yeah, I dedicated 6 of my time slots to be classes for Piano Hub, and I teach them no matter what. The members can join if as many of them as they want.
Very cool. Okay, so two questions I'm thinking of. What are the two types of classes that you have? And just so I don't forget to ask you, do you have a various like age range, or do you try to keep it all the same?
It's it can be all ages. They don't really see each other anyway, because it's just maybe on the screen, but like yeah, the ages can be all ages, and I forget what did you all ask? What was the other question?
It's like 6 classes a week. See, that's why I asked him, so I didn't forget.
Now we both forgot. Well, yeah, I just have them. Yeah, it just says 6 classes a week, 3 days a week. They can show up to as many as they want. Everyone can join them for like the subscription amount.
That's really cool. So one student could technically come 6 times a week.
Yeah, they could. They come maybe 2 to 3 times a week, which I think is plenty. I think you come 3 times a month, that'll be that gets your money's worth. But they usually show up 2 to 3 times a week.
That's great because it feels more like they want to be there rather
Yeah.
than they're forced to be there.
Yeah. And then that's what your other question was, like the two types of classes.
Okay, okay, that's what it was.
Practice club, and I have a song class. So the practice club is helpful because they can show up 3 times a week and we're all practicing together for it. So that it the reinforcements there, parents don't have to worry about nagging their kids to practice. They just tell them, "Hey, go up to practice club." And it helps me realize that they want to be there since they're allowed to show up as many times as they want. That really helps my teaching to know that they're not being made to do this because they're showing up. I can just relax and teach what I intended to teach. I don't have to jump through hoops to keep them interested.
Right, and entertain them, right? Okay, that is really cool. Okay, so um, this probably doesn't even need to be asked, but I'm going to ask it. Do you offer any makeups or do you need to?
No, it's like missing your favorite TV show,
Yeah.
So maybe reruns.
Back in my day, when you missed a TV show, it was just gone.
And there are repercussions. You might miss it. I might not go back to teaching that class, that whatever that song I was teaching. I might not go back if I didn't think the song was fun. But
But that setup really makes sense. If they can come as much as they want, then yeah, then they don't have to do a makeup if they miss one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that. I really like that. Okay, um, kind of to walk us through a class, and you can pick which type of class. Like, what happens? What do you do for the first intro? And is there like what happens in the class?
So for practice club, it's improv slash technique class. So we start with an exercise and they're just watching me do the exercise and we make variations on that exercise until it more resembles improv. So I have the overhead camera, they're just looking at my hands. Presumably they're playing along. Even if they're just watching along, that's powerful training to watch someone and me explaining what exactly I'm doing. And as they improv, we pay attention to the patterns that emerge from all that play, because that's where we develop our ear to recognize things in other music. So I think that's why it's the most attended class, and they can play, there's no pressure to play because really 80% of it is pretending to play and watching along.
Okay. That really takes the pressure off of them too, of feeling like people are watching them and they might make a mistake.
Yeah, yeah, or
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, well, oh, that's very cool. Okay, so we had talked a little bit about there's kind of a certain student that this really works well for. At least, that's kind of what you're finding. Tell us more about that.
So I think mostly kids who struggle with traditional teaching methods, maybe they don't do well with how in school, people with attention issues or anxiety. I think it's a really good, this is a good learning style for those type. Gifted kids who need space to like be themselves, but they also need an influence that helps them learn. Because I think what happens is like when you're gifted, it's like, oh, they're smarter than everyone, so how can they learn from anyone? And really, it's like they do want to learn, but it needs to be their way. So I think it's really geared towards people who have to learn independently, but need the guidance to do that. To how do I go and make meet on my path? How do I go on my path here? So they're not spending a whole lot of like brain power on things that don't benefit them. Just they just need someone to push them forward to whatever they're going.
Okay. Okay. So I know that you have something that can help teachers like me because I'm a classically trained teacher. I am theory based and sight reading. And then when it comes to improv, I can do it a little myself, but I really don't know how to teach it. And composition, I teach from a very theoretical, aspect.
Yeah.
So you've got a thing that can really fill in some of those gaps. Tell us about your thing because that's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think the classical training, one myth I'd like to bust is that classical training makes you less good at improv and makes you not have a good ear. And it's like, no, it's not. It doesn't make it, it's a tremendous amount of experience classical players have gained, and because they've put so it's so strenuous to learn that way. And are musical benefits to doing that. So the thing I'm offering really is that many teachers want to include pop music in their lessons, but it's time consuming to teach it authentically, without like resorting to chord charts or purchasing scores. So I'm making a series of videos that teach individual songs by their functions, and it teaches how the music works. It preserves the learner's ability to express it in their own style. And every video comes with a worksheet. So you could watch it right in your lesson and then have continue on with the worksheet, or it could just be something that a teacher could watch on their own and grab ideas from. So really trying to make it like a resource that teachers can fit into their own program the way they want to fit it in.
I just think that is so cool. And I'm really excited about that because I could see like maybe it's different for me from student to student. Some of them might just be fine. Here, watch Joellyn. She'll explain that. And they can do they kind of can adjust like that. And others, I might really need to explain it more with them.
Yeah.
So it sounds really flexible to fit whatever so what's it called? How do we get it? Where
Yeah.
is it?
So it's on pianohub.live, which I'll get you the actual link for it. But pianohub.live has a subscription there where you can look, you can Yeah, you just subscribe and you have access to the entire library. So I'll have like teaching videos, also song analysis videos. So you just pick and choose what video you want to watch, what's interesting to you.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, it's really trying to be a supplement to fit the, in your own program.
So can you give me like a sneak peek? Like what are some of the songs that you could choose from?
Oh man, I got like, oh, a bunch.
I know, and I didn't tell you I was going to ask this, so surprise. I just
Like the newest ones, Beyonce, Sandcastles. I went back, like Billie Eilish. What was I made for? You know, the movie from the Barbie movie song. I got the Pixies, Blues Traveler, Bill Withers, like Lovely Day. So I got a bunch. In there. I got a
yeah.
whole, and that's on the website too. So pianohub.live, you go to the link that you'll probably post that around here somewhere. But yeah, you go to the link and I got a list of all the tops, all the songs that are there right now. And the list is growing. I really hope to make about 5 new tutorials a month. So that library is just going to grow all this year.
Wow. Wow, that's really cool. And we will put the link in the description below the video so that, people can just click on it there. That is really awesome. See, I told you that this was like some really cool information that I think can be really useful for their teachers. So, do you have anything else that you'd like to add that maybe I didn't ask that you think is pertinent?
Um, no, I don't know. I think that's it. That's it. I'm excited. I love to hear what people are doing with my videos or how they use them, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm always open if you find me on Facebook and you
Okay.
want to talk about piano teaching stuff. I'm always super available to
Is that the best way to reach you is through Facebook?
yeah, I can put a link. You can contact me through my website as well.
Okay. And that's the pianohub.live?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, any of us that have questions, we can contact you there. I know that we talk a lot on Messenger on Facebook, so I know she's there.
I'm all over the internet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much. This is going to be really helpful. So I really appreciate your time. It's been
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you.